Now, agenda for today. So first of all, what I'd like you to do is make sure you've got a pen and a piece of paper with you, okay? Because I'm going to ask you a few questions and things to write down, which then when I'm leading on for these next 5 points that we're going to cover today, you will start to kind of understand a bit more about your previous sales. So what we're going to do today is cover 5 key tips. Can you go back? Sorry.
Sorry.
We're going to cover 5 key tips. So we've got the Art Sales Academy, which is going to be a deep dive into all of the parts of an art sale and how you can complete this yourself and how you can practice. We're going to go through 5 key tips today about selling face-to-face. There's going to be a Q&A session on here. If you use that question and answers box, don't put it in the chat because it will just get lost. Q&A, any burning things you've got there. But first of all, I'm going to ask you a few questions, okay? I'd like you to write down on that piece of paper, this is about your most memorable art sale, okay? Most memorable art sale. Number 1, what was the name of that piece? So write down the name of the piece that was your most memorable art sale. Now I'd like you to write down, what was the price? How much did you sell that piece for, that memorable art prize? What was the price? Why was it special? Why was this a special art sale? Why is that imprinted in your brain, this memorable sale? Write down why it was special. The next point is, how did you connect with the buyer? Can you remember what that connection was? How did you connect with that buyer? The next part to that is, where did the sale happen? Was it in a studio? Was this online? Was this person in person? Was this in a pub? Was this in an art fair? Where did this sale happen, this memorable art sale? And finally, how did it make you feel? Okay, so this is your memorable art sale. What was the name of the piece? What was the price? Why was it special? How did you connect with the buyer? And where did the sale happen? And finally, and really importantly, how did that make you feel? Okay. And we don't need to share this. This is just something that I want you to write down. So as we're going through this today, it might just start to trigger little things. Did you do that? Go, wow, I did do that. That's how it worked. Oh, brilliant. I'm great at these art sales. You know, maybe there are points that you're going to learn today in this taster session, the things that you could have done differently and you will do differently for next time. Okay. So let's start off with number 1. Okay. So this is face-to-face selling. So common mistakes to avoid can be one of the parts here. But the key thing for any art sales is to be prepared. Okay. Boy Scouts, be prepared. Anything worthwhile is worthy of preparation. It really is. And selling art is no different to this. It's the posture of readiness invites the confidence and the trust of the customer. So when you're going in, you want to put yourself into that selling state. Now, however you do this, what I've done with people before is actually envisage like an exoskeleton that they step into and zip it up and they create, but you want to be prepared for this. I'm sure many of you have gone in somewhere and you've hung the show, you've got the artwork, you're flustered, you're hanging everything up, you're following your plan. Have I got the price labels? Have I got this? And then someone comes to ask about your work. And at that point, you're flustered. You're not ready. You're not dressed. You're not feeling calm. You're not prepared for that. And you will often then set off your selling journey on that day in that mode. You need to be prepared. I mean, when we used to go into the gallery, I'm sure you did the same, Louise. You know, maybe you're late, you're running off the tube, you're going there. You have to just get yourself in that zone, whether that's feeding yourself properly. It's so important. People forget to eat. People forget to drink water. You need to get into that mode that you are ready for this, okay? Like we say about the Boy Scouts with the be prepared. I mean, seriously, would you send a scout out to a winter camp without a sleeping bag? You know, you need these tools for surviving, okay? So one is, first of all, putting your mind into that selling state. And we're going to talk about the word selling because I'm sure there's a few of you that are cringing about that, okay? So that stress of that final rush to put things together can really play havoc with your mental state. This is for artists and for gallerists as well. In the minute you meet that first prospective buyer, you need to be, instead of like, you need to be in that kind of, in that zone to engage that potential client. Okay. Now the salesperson finds himself acting in an automatic way, or worse, not acting at all, is not particularly good. I mean, I'm sure there's quite a few of you that have been into a gallery and felt that that person really doesn't know anything about things at all. But during the lead in to any opportunity to sell, I'd say take a few moments and a deep breath to kind of clear your mind. Mm-hmm. Put that bit before about all the pre-sale, the fact that you're thinking, oh, I measured that wrong, I've put 3 nails in that hole in the wall. You need to just let go of that and focus solely on that essential task, which is going to happen, which is going to be selling, or if you want to word it in a different way, you know, passing that custodianship of that piece of artwork to somebody that is engaged to be there. Once your mind has shifted to that sales room, then you can put that energy and enthusiasm into that. Don't be thinking about all the other bits. Let it go. You may have a bag that you've shoved under somewhere and it's got bits and pieces in it, but it doesn't matter. You've got to relax, get yourself into that excited feel about meeting people, elude this kind of joy, because this is where you've stepped into that, the beautiful show, the beautiful stall, the beautiful place where you're getting to meet people and they see the final product. I always think sometimes when you go to a restaurant, I often go for an experience. I'm not necessarily just going for food. There's sometimes you just go for food, but you often want to go for an experience. When I'm there, I don't want to see the washing up liquid. I don't want to see the files. I don't want to hear about the staff bitching about their staff, the manager behind there. I want to have that willful suspension of disbelief. I want to go there, eat some food, it be enjoyable, and go home. When you're reminded of all the other bits that are going on, it kind of takes away. And that's a bit for you when someone comes to see your artwork. They want to learn from you, but they don't want to know every little stick and bit and what's gone wrong and this is this, and making all the kind of negativity around it. Is that positivity and that joy. Another one, please assume that you're going to sell. This isn't arrogance, but just assume that you are actually going to sell. Wait, what slide have you gone on to there? I think I'm still in the first one.
No. No. Sorry.
Assume you're going to sell. So if you think about it, just because on that day you might not have £500 in your bank account to go and buy that painting across there, it doesn't mean the person standing in front of you is feeling that. Never presume it. You don't know. Maybe that person is looking at your painting going, oh my God, it's only £995. Wow, I thought it'd be more. I could get 2 of them. But if you naturally say, you're apologizing for the price, or you're kind of putting that negativity onto, oh, don't worry about it. If you can't afford it, would you like a print? Assume you are going to sell that. Talk in that positive manner. Another one is dress for success. Okay. Whether you're dressing that fits to your brand, which some artists do, whether you're going like Karen and Louise gallery mode, all black. Yes, Louise?
Yes.
Reason we dress in black is to not detract from the artwork. As art salespeople, it's black and it's elegant because we are not the art piece. We're the people that are translating, that are forging communications professionally with you and introducing the art and the artist. Now, if you're the artist and your art is buoyant and flowering, if you're dressing like that, do it, but dress well. Dress to represent your brand. You're being professional on this day. Now, key one, drop your prejudices. Never prejudge anyone. I worked in a gallery in James Street in London, and I mean, if you've ever been to a top gallery in James Street, Bond Street, sometimes it can feel quite intimidating. They look you up and down. The reason I sold so well in London is because I would smile at everyone and not prejudge them. Some of the richest people, the most engaging art buyers ever have come in with the dirtiest shoes and a charity shop top on.
I have to say, Karen, working on cruise ships as well, everyone is on holiday. So you could have the richest person coming in shorts and a flip-flops. And so on ships, I really, really had to teach myself that you can't judge a book by its cover. You treat everyone the same. And I still do it till this day.
Yeah. I do. I mean, that people would actually refuse to go and talk to these people, but I saw their hand, and I've worked in antiques. I know that's a 300 grand Patek Philippe watch,
Yeah.
but also it's just everyone that comes in, because I personally hate it when I go somewhere and I feel like someone's looking at me in that way a bit. Oh,
Yes.
it's either going to make me think, well, I'm not going to buy anything here, or it's going to make me overspend just to prove a little bit Pretty Woman style. But never judge your people in. Also, and I'm just going to say this because I have worked with artists that can unsell their own paintings in a second. Just keep off certain topics. You're there to talk about your art. If your work is quite political and it's about social commentary, then those people are going to come. But on the whole, try and avoid the politics, religion, even sport sometimes. It all depends on your brand, obviously. But try and keep it about relationships and people and your artwork and the situation around there, rather than getting antagonistic. Okay. So there's some of the ones about being prepared. So number 2 is about your conversation, but about introductions. Okay. Those first 60 seconds really do set the tone for that interaction. You don't often get a second chance to make an impression. But those first 60 seconds can also, Louise, you've probably had one of these. I used to make it my personal mission, if somebody came in grumpy and miserable, that I would be so nice and engaging through those first minute that you are not going to, because it will change their mood as well.
Yes.
Someone might have just had an argument outside or something happens. If you engage in those first 6 with a good tone, smiling, politeness, genuinely wanting to explain about the art or have a conversation, you can really help their day as well as your day. The key thing is to smile. Okay. Now, I know there's a difference between smiling and there's smiling. Smiling through your eyes. I taught English for a number of years in a different country. And sometimes when you've just heard the same phrase said over and over and over and over again for the past 8 hours, it can be difficult and you're tired. And you kind of have to learn how to smile with your eyes and how to engage with people. And actually that makes that smile more real than hi. It's just like, oh, hi. To almost feel it pulling up through you. Practice it in the mirror and laugh at yourself, because you'll look a bit strange to start with. But having that real smile, you can tell that when you get the whole hi to the whole genuine hi. Now, you've all probably been into a gallery or to a stand somewhere, and you can almost feel that little black cloud over the top of the person's head. They kind of glance up and they're a bit like, oh, hi. Let me know if you've got any questions, or just have a browse. You feel a bit dismissed, that it's got no energy to it. It's generally, smiling won't kill you, okay? It's bringing up that sense of energy, even if you're really tired, just dragging them up and smiling. We're going to give you a few little tips about how to kind of introduce yourself to people. Okay. Yes. Really good phrase that Shirley Ann loves. Remember, you're never fully dressed without a smile. It really is true when you're in, and at this point, you've gone from being the artist, the person that is envisaging these creations, the person that has dedicated so far their life or part of their life to establishing your practice, to improving yourself. You've now got to this point, whether this is a little church hall, by the way, or whether this is a big art fair, whether you're in a gallery, whatever it is, should always be coming with that professional front, that everything is looking great, okay? And that includes that professional smile. Just think, if you went into a shop or to a gallery or a place, how you would like to feel when you go in. You can ask
Karen, sorry, just on this, I just saw a question, and I think we need to kind of answer it now, because I actually wanted to say that somebody was asking, if you walk into a shop, you wouldn't want to be approached in the first 60 seconds. I just want to go back again to my days working on cruise ships, where the 60 seconds really is important. And I wouldn't want to be addressed immediately when I walk into a space. So what I used to do is I would greet and I would maybe stand up and walk over to another artwork, maybe straighten it a little bit, comment on the puppy that they have with them or their handbags, really, really nice bag. Just really starting conversation, being really, really nice. So you don't have to walk up to them straight and immediately start making your first impression. You can give them a little bit of time. I don't know, Karen, how do you feel about this?
Well, I was saying, I didn't say go and approach them. I said introduce. And I said, but the tone of your interaction, okay? I don't mean like, hi, 60 seconds. My name's so-and-so. I'm the artist. Do you like my artwork? I mean, it's opening that smile when somebody comes in instead of going, oh, hi. It's just like, oh, hi. And just like, and then as you can do an excuse around it, but it's setting that tone. This is comfortable. I'm an engaging person. I'm smiling, and I'm here to answer those questions. I would often look at somebody's shopping bag and be like, oh, have you been to Selfridges? Is their Christmas shop still open downstairs, or is it not open yet? Or, oh, it's great to see the sun out again today, isn't it? Making some kind of comment, legitimate comment. You're going to get people that are coming in with an amazing jacket and you go, so sorry, but I've just got to say your jacket is amazing. Where did you get that? Don't need to be talking about your artwork. On the whole, selling art isn't about selling your art. It sounds strange. It's about building that relationship between you and that person. And then you introduce the artwork to that. That is a key thing because people buy from people. Now, I know there are going to be people that find this uncomfortable, but we work with helping people get around that, especially if you have anxiety. I've worked with people who are autistic that find that kind of level of communication different, but there are ways around it. So that first 60 seconds is about setting the tone of how that person's going to feel around your artwork, okay? Because I hate it when people, but I don't like it also when people just dismiss me. Introduce, like, have you seen the artwork before? Can be some kind of question. You know, people might say no. They might say yes, but the first thing to do is introduce yourself. You're an artist. There's no time for humility here. You may think your identity is obvious, but how many times have you had people say, are you the artist? I've helped someone before. In fact, I was talking to somebody earlier who's going to make a badge that says I'm the artist. Someone I've worked with before has put that on their t-shirt, I am the artist, and people will come off and go, oh, you're the artist. You know, I'm the artist's husband. People don't know who it is and they want to talk, but when they see you're the artist, they will often come over to talk to you as the artist. But introduce your name of who you are. I'm the artist. I'm the gallery owner. I'm the spouse of the artist. My name is Karen. I'm the artist. Now, if you can, ask for the client's name and try and remember it. Now, I can be the worst for this because I find it really hard to remember names. I'm great with faces. I can tell you all about your life story when you've told me, but names are hard. But it can be really important. You can ask someone again how to do it, but I would often, there are different techniques which you can show you how to do to remember people's names by being written upon them, using a part of their body shape or their facial shape to remember the first letter, or using it immediately and being like, hi, I'm Karen, I'm the artist. And what's your name? Louise. Oh, Louise, it's lovely to meet you. What a great day it is today. And then you just go and do something with another painting. But you've just set the tone of that you are building a relationship with somebody, which is key.
Yes.
You can give the client a brief introduction to the art, but don't go on to that full talking for ages about your art. Just going, hi, I'm Karen, the artist. So this is my artwork. And if you see here, actually, I did start off being really quite realist. But after I did this realism, I went to this exhibition. When I've been to this exhibition, I really felt that kind of connection with abstraction. And then the people are going, okay, great. I just like the color. You know, you want a brief introduction to it because relationships are about communication between two people. It's not, here's everything, go away. You want them to ask questions and you want them to introduce. But that first introduction, if you can get their name, you can smile, you can set the tone for that, then we can move on.
Yeah.
So our next one, the value of questions. These are so important. So art sales is about connecting and getting to know someone. It is opening a relationship. Whether these people buy today, whether you send them some information, they buy later, whether they come and see you at another event, whether they want to commission something, there is every single one of those interactions. These are all potential buyers, supporters, recommenders, but you need to get some information and find about them. They often say in sales that, you know, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth because you should listen more. But selling is about listening and not telling. And I know you guys just hear me talking all the time, by the way. But when I'm in that environment where sales, the way I work personally is I work with empathy points. And because I've done quite a lot in my life and lived in different places, there's usually a touch point that you can get. So when somebody gives you some information about them, oh, really? Edinburgh? Oh, it's fantastic up there. Is your daughter at the university there? Bit of information. Oh, I know this. Or I've been around this. Or isn't that fascinating? But it's finding those touch points. So the more information you have about them, the easier it is to find some common ground and then to listen and engage. Because not many people get given the chance to talk about them. Make sure that you're not asking yes or no questions. You want an open type of question. Now in the Sales Academy, this is what we'll do is we'll talk to you and role play about how to do open questions to lead on to more information, okay? Because people do love to be able to talk about themselves. It's important. The real work comes as you analyze what was said, and then you can incorporate this into your sales efforts on this. But the more information that you do get for someone, the more effective your assistance in guiding towards a sale. Now, don't think that we're doing this in a con way, by the way. We're not going, oh, these are all the Machiavellian ways to make someone buy something. It's not that. It's just about steering that sale personally for that particular person. What is going to make them feel more safe, familiar, secure, and trusting? If you're asking for a certain amount of money for this painting, so there's value of this painting that you've been, or video installation or anything, or sculpture, whatever this piece of artwork is, it has a necessity, as in it makes you feel great. It's a representation of who you are. It's something that you appreciate, you want to collect, you love, but you can't eat it. Your kids sleep under it. But on the whole, art is a luxury still. So people want to feel safe and secure within that choice. And that will come from you listening, understanding, and building a relationship with them, okay?
Yeah.
So,
sorry.
What's on our next one here? Yeah, what's on our next slide? Sorry, my brain just went.
Sorry.
What's that one there? I can't see it. My computer's just gone funny.
Oh, sorry.
So
the questions.
So here are some examples of some of these breaking the ice and encouraging conversation. So I'm going to go to the dead end ones first at the bottom. These are kind of yes or no questions, which then just kill the conversation, okay? So do you live here? Yes, I do. Oh, okay. You know, is there a follow-up? You know, are you on holiday? Oh, yes, I am. Thanks. Have you visited this art gallery before? Yes, twice. So you can kind of say things like, what brings you out today? Oh, we were just doing a spot of shopping. I've just been over to so-and-so. It was such a great day. And that painting in the winter just really drew me in. Oh, really? Oh, that's one of my ones. That's so lovely of you to say that. I've had a few people. And whereabouts are you from then? Are you related to that kind of? You can start to ask more things. What are you looking for in particular today? Oh, nothing. I'm kind of just looking. Or you can then start to say things like, oh, do you have some artwork before? What pieces have you bought before? You can start to ask further ones. Where are you from? Or, you know, where have you come from today, I suppose could be good. You can ask people about their job. You know, what kind of work do you do? Or what line of work? If somebody says, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mum with 3 kids. Oh, great. How old are your children? Oh, wow, you got 3 under 10. Or in Louise's case, 3 under
5.
Under 5. And you could be like, wow, they've got 3. They're twins. Twins. My dad's a twin, actually. Are yours identical? It's just building that relationship about this, and then you can start to bring it back about the art, because these people have come into an art place. You're not trying to sell them something that they don't want. They've come into an art environment. They're probably already pre-engaged to like art, or they felt attracted. There are loads of different places you can stumble into. Why have they chosen to stumble into the art and not the cheese market? Probably because they've got an interest in the art. So you're not trying to get them to do something that they don't want to do. They're already pre-engaged, and you just want to qualify them by building that relationship to start with.
Yeah.
You can say, what have you seen that interests you the most as well on this? Now, if they're pointing at somebody else's stuff, that's not a problem. You know what I mean? Be polite about other artists. Please never be rude about other artists. Always be polite. Now, some other parts here about telling a story. Telling a story is key on there. You don't have to tell them everything about your piece of artwork, okay? So you can just tell them a little bit about the journey of that particular piece. People love little anecdotes. They love little extra pieces. In fact, I'd find there's a certain artist that we had, and I got to spend some time with him just having a conversation, which really helped me sell his artwork, because then I can go, look, I was talking to the artist, and if you notice in the background here, he wanted to start it off really realist, and then you can see he got more sketchy through it. Or actually, if you look here, his name is on it, or he always somehow puts his daughter somewhere in it. Little things like that, little anecdotes of, my artist Ian Thompson that I worked with for ages, he was covered in tattoos, really good looking guy, scruffy beard, but when he painted it was really neat. And on his jeans, he would wipe his brush exactly, and it would have these tiny little line marks on his jeans, and he'd always have a glass of red wine. And just those little things and little stories about something people want to know more. People who
it's a Kincaid. I don't know if you remember him, Karen, but he used to hide these little ends in his paintings for his wife Nanette. And it's fun for people just looking for all of these little hidden ends. So it is small little details like that.
And that's that engagement of getting things else. You're not selling the painting, you're just talking about extra little parts of that, little secrets, or like Paul James, if you remember. So actually I nearly sold him his own painting. It's hilarious. I did not recognize him at all, because I'd only really seen pictures before of him and read some things in emails, and I'd never met him. And as I was trying to sell him his own painting, he then took his hat off to reveal who he was, and I still didn't recognize him. And then he was like, I'm the artist. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. He went, no, I really wanted to buy my own painting. But what he then told me was just a bit about how he keeps his work on an easel, and how he's created one where he can turn bits around. Little information like that for people can be fascinating, rather than saying, this painting here represents this. I did it on this day, and it's this, and this is exactly what the story is. Marcel Duchamp famously says that the final stroke on any painting is the viewer. Okay, you can tell your story about it, perhaps just give a little bit of information and a little bit about yourself, a little bit of interest. I think I did it with Sarah Lynn Murray, if she's here on today, who had 3 paintings, which is about AI. And I was at the other art fair, and I literally stopped someone walking down the middle, and they went, no, it's not my kind of thing. I went, oh, I'm not trying to talk about the artwork. I just wondered, if I told you this about AI, which one would you think is which? And then they were like, well, it's about AI. Yeah, well, this is about people, doubting. This is about accepting, and this is about hating. And then they loved that part of the story. And I wasn't trying to sell them the art, but they did buy it in the end. Because I wasn't trying to sell it to them. I was just wanting to talk to them about, would you recognize that subject matter? What do you think about it? And stuff like that. So that personal touch of a creator, it's the best tool. And you know what? You're the creator, so you know more information than anyone else. Okay, when you're telling that story. Okay, what else we got? But keep an eye on these questions. Now, Closing a sale is the hardest. So I'm not going to teach you about that today. And that's mainly because it all really depends on a certain amount of the things that are leading up. So in the Art Sales Academy, we'll go through absolutely every point of it. And then you'll have those different examples of closes, of how to close specifically for that situation. But building a close is one thing, okay? So this is the process of cultivating the interest and building a close, okay? There are some techniques on this, again, not nefarious, this is just techniques to help people visualize. If you have, for example, this is a gallery and it's all white walls, it doesn't necessarily feel that it's within a house environment and in an art fair. So what I do, and I'm sure Louise has done this as well, is the minute that someone can envisage or start talking about it within their own home or office environment, you're most of the way there. So you could ask questions like, which room in the house would you put this painting? And some people you're going to get, well, I wouldn't put it anywhere. And then you can do the mock, ouch, wound me. But most people go, oh, well, actually, I'd probably put that in the dining room. Oh, do you think, is it by the table on the other side? I'm thinking on the other side, because it looked really good with the mirror, wouldn't it? And you're already thinking they're putting it into that space. So it's talking about fitting it within a home. Before I've done a technique with artists where they, instead of talking about their own work, I've got them to say, would you mind answering a question for me? Just because I've had a couple in earlier and they love this painting. Okay. Now she thinks it should go in the bedroom and he thinks, no way should it be in a bedroom. That's a sitting room piece. What would you say? And they'll start to talk about it and then they'll think about their own bedroom. Again, if they say, I wouldn't put it anywhere, you can do the mock horror of, okay, sugarcoat the pill, break it. Like, you know, and then people will laugh about that and go, it's fine, I'm just going to go and sit over here and cry for a while. But theoretically, if you did like my work, that kind of joking with them can often go, well, if I did like your work, I'd put it here. And you go, okay, thank you. But people will then start to think about their own bedroom. Do I want to see it when I wake up in the morning? Is that something when I walk past my bedroom I'd love to see and feel proud that I have art in there? Would I want this on the dining room? Will it work with my TV? Small things like this, because art is going to live with someone, okay? It's going to live with them. So the minute they can find a space for that, it's great. And this is engaging their imagination. You're involving them in this process. You've created this one-off piece, by the way, you know, this artwork that you've created, you might have similar artists that work within your genre, your niche, your style. Yours is an original piece of artwork, okay? There's only by you. They haven't created it. They've chosen then to have this conversation. You want them to be part of this process and engage their mind to take this piece of artwork, this creation, this wonder, this one-off into their lives. Also, speak with assumption. Just presume that this is going to happen. I know it sounds weird. Instead of going ifs and, you know, you don't have to. It's like, great. So this piece you'd put in the dining room. Great. Oh, that's excellent. So, you know, you can start talking as if, well, I just naturally assumed you were going to have it. You might as well assume. I mean, they can say no. People are strong enough to say no. Yeah. And then we'll teach you how to change that no to, is it a real no or is it a potential yes? You know, not this is just sometimes giving people those options until they just say no. Now, you don't want to close too early, and we can teach you about this. So learning the art of asking for the close, handling consent, and wrapping it up literally is something else that we'll cover. But that build up to the close. Can you imagine it? Am I getting close to it? And then what we will do on the course is teach you that. I just can't today because you'll just follow those bits and say that, and it won't be relevant to the other bits before, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, here's what we will do in the academy. So these are basically our sales checklist, and these are the bits that we will be doing the deep dive with. So your introduction, learning your client's name, some of the key points, asking questions, telling stories about yourself and your artwork. that are the right stories to tell, rather than just sitting there and giving your entire life story and trying to chase people away. And I know from so many artists, they're like, I don't know when to stop talking. And their head's going, should I stop now? And they're just going, oh my God, why am I still talking? Oh, they want to go away. And you're chasing them away. And that's purely nerves for a lot of the time. That's because you've trained yourselves and you've been trained to be artists, not salespeople. And this is a very different kettle of fish. And these days, a lot of you artists have to do everything. But having those skills of being able, following these things, helping the customers to visualize the art in the space, asking for that close, discovering, resolving concerns, successfully negotiating a sale, and following up. All of these are incredibly useful and very successful skills to know. This will also help you when you're going into a gallery environment that you're perhaps wanting to secure representation. If you know more than them, is that gallery actually worth it to do it? We at the moment, this course, we've got galleries wanting to buy this course. It's coming to you guys first, but we've got gallerists literally trying to buy it off us, because it's amazing how many galleries don't have that sales part. The ones that do are incredibly successful. So what we would do, that face-to-face art sales, is that introduction about your name, the client's name, asking the right questions, telling those stories about yourself and your art, visualizing it within that space for them, asking for the close, which I can feel people cringing. I can feel you cringing from here. But there's ways to ask for the close of that sale, resolving any of those concerns, which is sometimes, I haven't got the money at the moment, or I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. Is there a way that we can help you within that? And then negotiating that sale and following up is key. Okay. So I think at the moment, by the way, we're about 80% full on this academy. But I've got to also tell you, we got Stephanie Deepfuss in this. All right. Sotheby's Institute of Art, art critic, writer. This is a serious person. Please look her up. You can see exactly what she's like on this. You've got myself. I've been in secondary and primary art sales and antique sales for a little bit too long. But I've been working with primary artists since 2009 in the primary market. That's within gallery environments, that's within art fairs, that's within pop-up shows, large exhibitions. I've done all different sides. And also I've taught galleries how to sell artwork. And Louise, do you want to tell us a little bit about kind of just the sales background on yours, just a tiny bit?
Well, I attended art school when I was in high school, so I have a little bit of an art background, but my love for art did start then. Then I worked on cruise ships selling art, which I think not a lot of people are familiar with it. I did see a few questions, but selling art on cruise ships is extremely difficult. It's extremely fast-paced. Your first impressions really are immediate, and everyone is on vacation, so it really is the hardest place to sell. It's not a relaxed environment, it's a vacation environment. So I did that for 5 years. So I think a lot of the things that I know I can take from there. And then after that, I worked for one of the UK's biggest publishing houses for white wall galleries, which was amazing, which is another type of hard, as Karen would know. So I think I've in my 8+ years, I've had I dipped into a little bit of everything in the art world. So yes, that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Yeah. So basically, yeah, this course is going to be over 4 weeks. So session 1 will cover the foundations of art sales, including building the sale. Session 2 will be about closing sales techniques and artwork pricing. Session 3 is about building long-term relationships, which Michelle has asked a question about widening your audience. Building long-term relationships is key, really is key. This will be your bread and butter, and people will come back and they'll support you with sales, with promotion, with telling other people, with getting you contracts and commissions. And so that's 4 is art sales strategies and some of the common mistakes. So I've got, it's a course every week at the same time. It is at the same time, so it'll be at 1 o'clock GMT.
Yes.
Starting on
So
30th of April. Do you have any more
yeah,
information?
so it's going to be every Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So starting on the 30th every Tuesday until the 21st of May.
Yeah. So it's kind of like almost how the momentum program was working. What it is it's to keep that momentum up. Okay. Sometimes you can come to the one-off event and you've written all your notes and then you go, okay, and then you stall. When you've got to turn up to something every week for 4 weeks and perhaps do some homework with it, communicate with the other people, it keeps you going. Then you can go back, refresh, build up to the next level, go back and practice the foundations, moving on to the closing, then building the long term, then going back to your clients already. Remember we wrote before, what's the name of that most memorable sale? Going back to those people and reselling perhaps another one to them, or asking for that kind of information. And then that final one is about those kind of mistakes and then going through and practicing. But every single week when you turn up, it keeps that momentum going. It really does. And that will super help you. I've got a few questions here. Some of them are not necessarily relevant. Position about AI. I wasn't talking about actually AI doing programs or anything like this. This was just a painted thing that had the subject of AI, which had a robot cat and a girl next to them. So it was just covering that. I'm not going to go into AI right now, I don't think. Maybe because they're art students, their tutor has told them to go to galleries and art fairs. Engage with them. Tell you what,
Great way to practice.
never judge a book by its cover, because I tell you what, I live here in Bristol and one of our student flats here is £760 a week. Okay. £760 a week for a flat in a student accommodation. They have luxury brands turning up, giving them giveaways. They've had Chanel in there, top brands pitching to these students. They might be an art student, but they might also have a very rich family. Or just practice, give them that time. You don't know who those people are going to become. Always treat everyone in that level of respect, because you never know who that person is, who that person will become, who that person's connected to. Maybe their great aunt has got the top gallery in Paris and you didn't know about it. Just because they're turning in as a student going, my tutor told me I need to come and talk to you. Can I get a brochure? Great. What do you do? Practice on them. What do you do? Let me tell you something about my art. Let's build a relationship. Would you like to follow with my newsletter? Support them on their way up. Anything to do with money, I'm afraid I don't know about it. We'll have to do this, but I think things are coming back afterwards. It is a separate course. It's just one of these additional extras. And the reason we've done it is just because so many people are always asking about art sales. I do art sales for people within the mentorship environment, and we've done a little bit before. It's a dedicated practice. If you want to know about face-to-face art sales and want great techniques, this is just something that you can do. I'm not pushing on everyone, but it is a great thing. Oh, here's Jane. Jane and I have got a meeting coming up, haven't we, Jane, about art sales? When someone's talking to you a long time and you can see other people, well, there's loads of different techniques we can teach you about how to get off it. We'll give you one technique. I'm sure you've all had this, where you get somebody come in and go, well, I'm an art collector. And then they get their phone out and they start wanting to show you, do you know so-and-so? Do you know Fabian Brett? Do you know that? And they start going through every artist. If somebody says to me, oh, I'm an art collector, I go, great. So would you like to hear about my process or my practice? Throw it right back into their court. If they say they're an art collector, they're going to want to know one of them. My process, how I have conceptualized and create this. My practice is a little bit about how I do something, and you give them a snippet, but throw it back into them. Don't let someone grab you and show you their entire art collection, all their baby photos, and teach you how to wrap it up. I'm famous for being able to get people away from any artist, by the way. Doing it, I'll be like, oh, I'm ever so sorry, I've just got to steal you for a moment. We'll come back. Do it in a really nice way. Just got to grab him. Really important. Move him off, and he'd be like, but you can get away with that. Okay. So this is just a little bit of a snippet for you today, just to give you some of the points. So I want you now to go back and look at that. Those questions I asked you at the front of this, at the top of this show. Just have a little think to yourself, memorable art sale. What was the name of that piece? What was the price? Why was it special? Why was that sale special? Did it feel really validating? Were you like, oh, you know, where was it? What do you know? What did that person look like? What was that? What sale? And how did it make you feel? If it felt really good, surely you want to do it again, right? And using some of these techniques that we've introduced you to today can help you. Okay.
Yes. I think that's it for the questions.
Excellent.
We just have a last peek. No, I think
Oh yeah,
that's
Karen's
fine.
excellent.
Well, thank you everyone, and thank you for joining. Like we said, this is just a little taster of what we have in store. So please go and book your spot.
Really quickly, sorry.
No, it's fine.
About deal with the discount. Okay. One, when I'm in a gallery, I never discount the artwork. I'll discount around it. That's my personal choice. A lot of galleries will do discounts, and I say, look, I can't
include the framing, or
I just say, look, I can't discount the actual artwork, because you want to make sure your artwork is always key and the most important thing. What I probably could do is, you know, maybe I could throw the frame in, like the price of it, or is there any added value? Is there a print? Can I post this? Can I deliver this for free? Can I go and get a bottle of Prosecco that's going to go with it, or some flowers?
Yes. Oh gosh, the amount of Prosecco I've given away.
Is there something around it? But try not to just go, look, well, this can, I mean, essentially as an artist, what you're doing is cutting your heart open, putting it on a plate and going, do you like me? And if somebody goes, yeah, but I only want it, I want it cheaper. It's my heart and my soul. You want it cheaper? You know, try not to discount the actual artwork, but give added value, but keep your value, what you do. Be strong, be assumptive. This is what the price is. Don't even ask. Don't explain. If someone says, why is it priced that way? Well, it is. And that's it. Okay. Oh, Golden Duck Gallery are joining. So Catherine Van, she's got Golden Duck Gallery in Budapest, by the way. Please go and look her up. They do great stuff. And she's going to join our Art Sales Academy as well. So you've got a gallerist and gallery staff in there as well, guys. All right. Okay, I'll let you wrap up now.
There we go. Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much. It was good to have another event with you. I haven't had one in so long. And thank you everyone for joining so much. We appreciate it.
So you'll have some information about this. If this is ready for you, which I think it is for most people, let's help you get confident in selling your artwork and getting the financial value as well as the relationship value that you and your work deserve. Okay?
Definitely. Thanks, everyone. Bye.